All right, and we are live, I think. All right, so I'm going to be teaching today, and I've got Ajax calls. So I don't know if you guys have used Ajax before, but it's pretty doggone awesome. Um, so basically, what Ajax does is it lets you make server calls to get data. So you don't have to have like all the HTML or all the code or all the data needed for a website on the client side. A lot of times you'll want to so any application where you're needing to log in, you're going to make an Ajax call to query the database to see if you've got the right credentials and stuff like that, because you don't want to have like everyone's passwords listed on the client for anyone to see. So security-wise, it's really nice, and it just makes the client load faster because you don't have to have every bit of data loaded onto the client. But you do have to have a web server running. So I've got two tabs. One where I've got it loaded up on the localhost server, and then one where I've just opened up the actual HTML file. And I'm using a program called XAMPP to host my localhost. And so if I have my regular HTML file, and then I've got this button here making an Ajax call, a query to basically pull the ajax.info.txt file. If I try to load that, it's not going to work, and I'm gonna get an error saying that it failed to load because you need to have a server running. And so if I try that same thing on my server side, where I load it up, then it's able to find that text, and then it injects it here, and you can actually see those calls being made on the networks tab of your dev tools. So it's looking for the ajax_info.text, and it's a get call. And so in JavaScript, you're able to make that kind of call this way, where you create a new XML HTTP request object, and then you open that request and then send it. And then you need to have a callback function or a response function. So in this case, we use the onReady state change. So when the state has changed for the call, when the call comes back, if it was a good call and valid, then we'll continue on, and then this is where we inject the actual text from the element, or from the file, into the element. You can also do this with jQuery. I know that we're not really supposed to use much jQuery, I think, in this class, or maybe I'm confusing that with a different class, but
no, you're right.
Yeah, but I do it mostly through jQuery for work. We do basically all of our Ajax calls through jQuery, so I just wanted to kind of show that there's like more than one way of doing it. This will do the same thing where it just loads up that text, but in my opinion, it's a little easier to read than the JavaScript version up here. So for jQuery, you have just the $.ajax, and then it's a get call. You have the URL for what you're trying to query, any data that you'd want to pass up. Then on a success, you can have this callback function where it will pass in the data from the call, and then you can inject it into the HTML. So if I tried to make any of these calls when my server's down, or when it's not running, I can't. So if I open up my DevTools again, then that's still working for some reason. All right, never mind. But if I try to reload the page, then it can't connect to it because I no longer have the service. And then this is generally what you'll see is just red messages saying that it failed because the service isn't running. But if I start it up again and go back into it, then we have the the web service back, and we can make those calls. So this is really useful for tons and tons of things. And it doesn't have to be just getting data back from a text file or from a JSON file. You can also get back HTML. And so you can load HTML into another element, or so in this case, I have just this very simple HTML code that I've loaded into this object. But you can use this if you need to load another web page entirely, or if you need to load some kind of like popover element or anything that you wouldn't necessarily need to have loaded onto the client right at the very beginning. You can make a quick Ajax call and then get that HTML back. So you can really do quite a lot of things and get almost any kind of data back. So that's basically it for my little tutorial of Ajax. Like the instructions say, whether you're getting a basic file or getting the location of space station from NASA, it's pretty easy, and it kind of is pretty easy, honestly. So do you guys have any questions?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah?
definitely. So I was wondering, if you go to the JavaScript code, what happens if you don't put the if statement that is the success statement? If you just go straight to document get element by ID, does it have to check for the success?
It does. So the state actually changes a couple times before it actually comes back with a successful status code. So I can actually pull that up, and I can put in a console here. State changed, and if I add the status code for whatever it is, then try running that again. Then in my console, I'll see it actually changed once with a status code 0, and then I got 3 success changes off that. So JavaScript isn't really the most efficient, but because that state was changed 3 times with that one click. But yeah, so if you have that if statement there, then that kind of helps limit that down. And so if we also have, if I put out the ready state code, geez, that's not ready state. And then see it's on that fourth and last ready state call that we want to actually continue on.
Oh, wow. Okay. So Ajax does that automatically, because I saw that you don't have to specify 4 and 200 in Ajax.
Right, exactly.
JSON.
Exactly, yeah.
Or jQuery. Oh my gosh, I'm so confusing all of them. Okay.
Yeah, I personally feel like jQuery is easier and much more clean. I didn't add it, but you can also have a failure option, and then have a callback function in case that there's a failure.
Is it like a try catch in Java?
Sorry.
Kind of like try catch in Java.
Yeah. So when you make a Ajax call, it'll check to see if there's a failure object or failure property declared, and then if there's not, it'll send it to the success call with a failure status. But you can also have those two things separated.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
No, I like it. I mean, first time I heard from Ajax. I mean, I use jQuery, but not that one. First time to me, and it looks really nice. It was really good.
So I wonder how to implement this for our app.
Well, for instance, for your Futurama website, if you wanted to, so for the quotes, you can make an Ajax call to your server requesting the image and the quote and who said it, and so you wouldn't have to have that array client side if for whatever reason you didn't want your client to actually view that or like see everything that that was possible or that was obtainable, because anyone who knows how to open up the dev tools can go through your sources and see all of your code that you have. And so for security's sake, you can keep all that like hidden. But then also, if you had all that information stored in a database on your server, then you would need to make an Ajax call to make a server call to query that database.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I guess that's what I was doing before, because I was making the XML HTTP request.
Yeah.
I downloaded all of my data, all of my quotes to my GitHub, got the direct HTML, HTTP to it, and yeah, I was getting it earlier through XML. So that's Ajax. Okay.
Yeah.
I get confused. I'm like, I'm using a JSON file, but JSON file, what does that even mean? That's not an action. That's a noun, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Awesome. This is very cool. Did you build it yourself?
Build what?
You and Andrew are overachievers.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you so much. And guys, Brian totally helped me fix the. Do you guys want to see my quote thingy? He helped me fix the images.
Yeah.
Aha. Let's see. Where is it? Where'd it go? Nope. Not here. So I was killing myself today trying to get the topic 8 to work. And oh my gosh, no, I see. Oh, this one, sorry. So I couldn't get the images to work. They wouldn't show, like, this is Fry, and then this is Bender, and Leela, and they all show up. So he helped me fix this.
Nice.
I couldn't get them to work, and he told me, wait, he showed, oh, in the HTML. My mistake was that I didn't have the source, and instead of image, I had an input in here. And then in my actual generator, on line 44, I had inner HTML, and I needed the source. So there you go. It works.
Cool.
Isn't it so fun? Seriously, it's like half of the work. Is getting this thing to work.
Yeah, it's cool. It looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good. I like that one.
I'm excited. Something's working. Well,
Cool. Well, Kyle said that he wasn't going to be able to make it, and he was the other teacher tonight. So I guess he'll be teaching tomorrow. But I think that's pretty much it for tonight. If you guys don't have any other questions or anything, then that's all I got.
All right.
Yeah, fine.
All
all
right.
right.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Bye.